Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies. We're sisters who discuss all things related to work, family, and personal growth.
We draw inspiration from everywhere, especially from you, our listeners, to keep moving forward with joy and laughter in the big adventure that is life.
1 week at a time.
I'm Azizi Williams. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a mom of two, soon to be an empty nester, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. I'm here with my sister, Malika Amandi.
That's me. I'm a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a newish mom, and I work in higher ed. In this episode, we'll recap our favorite moments from the Happier with Gretchen Rubin podcast and Happier in Hollywood, hosted by Liz Craft and Sarah Fain.
But first, Malika, I wanted to share a term with you that I hadn't heard before, and I got it from a YouTuber, and her name is Auralia Martinez, and she has a channel. I started following her because she's a plus-size lady who believes in quiet luxury fashion.
Ooh.
And so even though she's petite, I really like her style and her price point and what she wears. So anyway, I've started watching her, and she started talking about clothes for the festive season. And I hadn't heard of festive season before. I've heard of holiday season, winter season, Christmas time. I've heard all these other terms, but something about festive season I really liked.
What do you like about it?
I guess it makes me think of sparkles and glitter.
Totally.
I think that's what it is. And it's funny because festive could be any time.
Right.
There's nothing about the word festive that means winter holiday season, but I knew immediately what she was talking about. I wouldn't call any other season festive seasons. Maybe it's the word season with it, So I want to start incorporating that more into talking about, the holidays.
I like it because it's special, but it's not religious in any way.
Yeah.
And holiday season isn't religious either. A holiday isn't religious necessarily, but I feel like people can be sensitive about the holidays in general and what that means and not even want to call it holidays. But festive is just a class of its own.
Yeah, it feels more inclusive.
Yeah.
Festive. And it is festive. So I like that. We'll use that more.
Deal.
Okay.
All right, Azizi, what happened on Happier in Hollywood recently?
Episode 390 is titled Fall 2024 Listener Burning Questions, where they continued talking about questions from listeners.
Okay. So somebody asked Liz if she would ever audition for Survivor, because she's a big fan of it. And I wanted to know, is there a reality TV show that you would love to audition for?
I mean, I have thought about Nailed It, and I actually think you may have suggested that. Or
you would be perfect on Nailed It.
It could be fun. I can imagine a time in my life when I could let go and be on a competition that is chaos. I love watching it and I love the host. So I think it would be a lot of fun. And I'm like that middle kind of baker anyway. I always give it my all. Lots of times it does not come out right. So I think that would be fun. I remember one time when my old boss suggested that I might go on Wipeout because I think they had a special edition for educators or something.
Oh,
and
funny.
I was like, you don't know me. Clearly you don't know me because physical challenge is not my thing. So
those shows just seem scary to me. My knees,
I can't even watch. I hate to watch people get hurt or lose. That's the part I don't like about American Idol or The Voice is oh, I feel so sad when they embarrass themselves, So no.
Another listener asked Sarah about how she finds skincare products and decides what to try because she's got such a detailed regimen, not unlike yourself. And so, Azizi, kicking this back to you, how do you do your skincare research?
It was really interesting. I had to think about this last time when I talked about my skincare routine that my daughters really influenced me. And so they definitely got me started. And now I think it's magazines. I love reading magazines and they often have a section that's about what's happening in skincare or breaking down the chemicals. So that's helped me understand the different components of skincare. And they also promote specific products. And I don't always go with their product because I have a specific price point. So I'm usually just looking for those chemicals and then I just try things. I'll randomly try a product. So luckily I don't have the sensitive skin that you do.
Mhm.
So I can be a little more, adventurous. And I have two new products to talk about, Malika,
Oh,
by the way,
okay.
since you brought it up.
Alright.
And I talked about Grove, which is a subscription service that has all natural, sustainable, they're really thoughtful about their packaging. Started off as cleaning products, which they definitely have, but they have expanded to include lots of different bath and body products. And they are usually from smaller companies, sometimes international companies. Lately, that's where I've been
Mm.
getting new skincare. So this one is from Apto Skincare, and it's called Shimmer Drops with turmeric and niacinamide. And it's like a serum, but it is speckled with little tiny gold speckles and turmeric. So it gives
Mm.
you that tint. I talked about Tula Skincare. They have a sunscreen that's got a shimmer on it, but it's really expensive. Now, this one goes a long way, and you put it on as the last thing after your sunscreen, and it gives you a nice, like, shimmery glow, very subtle. I love it. So there's that. And then there's Rooted Beauty by Grove Company. So this is made by Grove, and they are moisturizing bamboo facial wipes. What's interesting about
Mm.
these is that they come in a aluminum tin, and there are 35 individual little washcloths. So, Malika, I'm sure you've seen these before, like I don't know, it's like dehydrated washcloths that are really tiny. Have you seen this before?
No.
No? So it's a thing, like, you could buy a washcloth that's in this little tiny package. Anyway,
Oh, like an actual cloth.
like an actual
Yes,
cloth,
I have
right?
seen these.
They're compressed and dry, and they're it's like the size of a dime, maybe a little bit. It's thicker than a dime, but it's like the circumference of a dime. And they are not individually wrapped, so that's more sustainable. So you just open up this tin, you take one out, you put it under the water, and what opens up is this really thin bamboo washcloth that has some moisturizing, sort of rose scented
Mm.
soap on it or cleanser. So I really like these because sometimes I don't feel like we've talked about this splashing water on my face.
Because it's a production.
It's a production, it goes everywhere. And so this is like a nice tidy thing. And also, if I have worked out, I can use it in other parts besides my face. I don't know. I love it. And it smells delicious. Okay.
That's a good gift stocking stuffer,
It is a great stocking stuffer.
and it sounds like that would be really nice for, like, a long travel day, to have that at the airport.
You could throw a few in your bag. You could have it anywhere, you just need the littlest bit of water opens it up, and it feels very good. It smells very good, and it's bamboo.
What do you do with the cloth once you've used it?
You just throw it away. It's a wipe.
It is disposable. Okay.
It's disposable. It's a wipe, but it's made out of sustainable material, and there was no plastic packaging involved in it. And I don't know, somehow it lasts a long time. So this is something I'm definitely buying more of. I love this product. On episode 391, the title was Hollywood Present and Future with Carol Krishner. And I have to say, I agree with Sarah that this year's British baking show is so good. It's the best one in a while. It was very sweet. I was talking with Sinai about it, about this season, and she's like, "You're watching it already? I thought we watched that together, later." And I was like, "Oh, wow, she wants to watch things with me." So
Um,
I agreed we'd watch the finale together as a family.
well, based on your recommendation, I started watching it, and it is delightful. I'm not deep in it yet, but I will say I love the characters, and, I mean, the tone is just right? It's not
Mm,
too serious. They're all really rooting for each other, which is so sweet? It's not like cutthroat competition.
yeah.
And I just love the little interludes where you get to see the contestants' lives,
Yeah.
and all of their quirky, fun, regular people things.
Yeah, they're all so different from each other, and
Yeah.
yet they are so harmonious, and there's something about the chemistry in particular of this group and of the hosts. So, I love it.
I feel like okay, 'cause the episode I watched last night, one of the characters basically decides he's not feeling well, and so he just leaves.
That's right.
And I just love that. Like, I feel like that doesn't happen on American reality shows. Like, people will push through and it'll be like drawn out, but he was just like, "Yeah, it doesn't feel right. I'm not gonna stay." And everybody's like, "Okay, great, we'll miss
Yes.
you." Like, not like nothing happened, but there was no shame around it. There was no anything agonizing. He just decided it just didn't feel right. He wasn't feeling good, and I just think that's a lesson for all of us, that sometimes he can just walk away.
It was so civilized, and everyone supported his decision and went right back to baking.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, there's editing, and maybe it was a longer drawn out moment, but
maybe.
yeah, it was like, "Oh, this is how you should respect people and their choices," and, and then you just go
Yeah.
back to baking.
Right. So funny.
They did a bonus gift guide on Happier in Hollywood. I wonder if anything stood out to you from the gift guide.
There were a few things. I think for some reason, vitamin D gummies just seem
Really?
like, "Oh, that's a
Okay.
good gift," because most people want more vitamin D,
It's
right?
true. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just not something I would ever think of giving away
Right. I mean, I have a whole tray full of every kind of gummy you can
for your
imagine because that is something that I like in particular, but it is a good stocking stuffer. I'm sure there are people who don't have those.
I think the water pick, Sarah has talked about this
Yeah.
before, but I am a big flosser.
Mm.
And I'm just curious about how to make it easier. Like, if it was one device, that just seems like it would be simpler. So, I like my electric toothbrush. I never really like floss, but it's something I'm very committed to.
Hmm.
But I'm intrigued by how much of a game changer it's been for her. Would you do that?
I'm so curious. I just want to see a demonstration. Like,
Mhm.
how does this actually replace flossing? That water must shoot out really hard. Like the water pressure must
Mhm.
be really strong. So I think I would. At this point, I'm not even using an electric toothbrush. Like I just have like basic toothbrush.
What?
I know. How did this happen? And it's been like a few years now. I think I got tired of them dying and
Yeah.
replacing the batteries, or I don't know what, but I just have a regular old toothbrush and regular old
I
floss,
mean, it gets the
and
job done.
it does, but it could be so much better. But immediately when she said that, I'm thinking about like counter space. Like,
Right.
my bathroom counter has no space. Where am I going to put this? But I'm interested.
Maybe you could mount it to the wall.
Yeah, I guess so. Add another shelf.
The other thing that stood out to me is the Design Your Year journal, which is a Gretchen Rubin product. Not for myself, but I think for our mother.
That's funny because I was definitely like, I'm getting this from Malika. So I'm so glad you cleared that up right now because you are definitely getting one of these journals. Why not for yourself?
I'm sure I could use it, but I don't know. I was thinking about our mothers kind of like going through a big work transition, and it feels like a good time to have some structure, maybe. For me, I don't know. Maybe I would like it too. I really want the one with the pockets, the memory
Oh,
ones.
okay.
I
Got it.
need like 5 of those.
Okay. Got it. Noted. Every year, a new one. That's funny.
What stood out to you is easy?
Oh, that alpaca blanket.
Mhm.
I wrote down the website, but I kinda wanna just go to Ojai and see them myself because I can picture it. I can
Good.
picture the store, I can picture the block, I don't know, there's something about that. Ojai is a really beautiful place, and I haven't spent a lot of time there, I'm usually just passing through, so I think I need a day trip there to visit the alpaca blankets.
That would be a very easy Thanksgiving day trip, I think,
That's what
from
I'm
where we are.
saying, Malika. We were talking about that. I also have ordered Topsy's popcorn. I just have to say
Yes.
that here. I was influenced by all of them and Kansas City and Gretchen and Liz describing this popcorn and Sarah. And so I've ordered it for our Uncle Mark and Aunt Melinda. I've ordered it for Uncle Lawrence, but I've never had it for myself.
Mm.
Maybe this is a gift I'm buying myself this year because cinnamon popcorn, what does that even taste like? Have you ever had cinnamon popcorn?
No.
Do you want to try cinnamon popcorn?
I don't know, it doesn't call out to me.
Okay. Did I send you popcorn?
No.
Okay. So much good information is happening here. Well, a lot of people got popcorn from me last year. Now I get their catalog in the mail, so that was
Oh,
fun.
that's
I've seen
good.
their like limited edition tens, so that's something I'm gonna do this year. I heard Liz say that her birthday was in May, and I was like, "Did I know her birthday was in May?" because my birthday is in May, and I'm wondering if we're both Tauruses. Like, that would be
Mm.
another thing that we have in common. So, anyway, just curious. They also talked about one of their gifts was a Stanley for dogs.
Oh, right.
How many Stanleys do you have, Malika?
I don't have any. Well, that's not true. I have a flask that you gave me, a Stanley flask. I think that
I
maybe
don't think I gave you a Stanley flask.
maybe daddy gave it to you and you gave it to me.
What?
It was
No.
like for camping.
And it's Stanley?
It's Stanley,
Oh,
but it's
wow.
not like of the new Stanley trend. It's like the old school.
Interesting.
And I got Norm a travel mug. Not the big ones with the straw, but it's just like a smaller coffee mug.
Mm.
But I don't have the big thermos, straw that everybody has. I think I have a knockoff that I got from Home Goods.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I don't have many Stanleys.
I don't have any Stanleys. I have 0 Stanleys. I don't have any Stanley flasks or tumblers. I don't have any Stanleys, and I feel like I don't even have any Stanley knockoffs. I'm just gonna sit this one out, and then I'll get on the next one. Like, whatever the next trend is, maybe I'll get on that. Or maybe I'll break down and buy one, but I have no Stanleys. It just, yeah, it hurt to me.
I think you're okay. You have many different drinking receptacles.
Right? But so does everyone else. That's not the reason why people buy it, right? There's clearly other reasons to have it because it's a better one. It keeps your ice really cold, right? There's the whole thing about the fire and the ice
Right.
that was still there, but just haven't. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I like to shop, but not for water vessels, I guess. Episode 392 was titled Hollywood Holiday Shutdown. And Malika, Sarah took my recommendation. Did you hear it?
Oh, really? Oh, she didn't take it from you. She gave a recommendation that you wanted to give.
You're right. She didn't take it from me
That
because
sounds like
because I never gave it, but I wanted to give it, and then Sarah gave it, and I was like, "Oh
you
my
have been talking
god,
about it.
I right? You can vouch for me. I've been
Yes.
talking about this for like a month. It's just another example of how Sarah and I are on the same wavelength. Okay. And these detergent sheets I love. It's another product that I got from Grove. I know this feels like we're sponsored. We're not. And actually, different brands make it. And so there's a brand that makes it's like a rain scent, and there's another one that's like a lavender scent. Anyway, I love them, and I don't have to lug around these big, heavy plastic containers. They're not littering the laundry area anymore. It's just a very sleek cardboard box. So I will definitely vouch for those detergent sheets. And then I have another thing that I use, which is a color catching sheet. It's another sheet. It kind of looks like a dryer sheet, but you throw it in the wash and it absorbs all the extra color from the water so that it doesn't bleed into other colors. And so when I'm doing my laundry and I take it out, I make sure I pull it out before it goes into the dryer. And you could see that it's like all gray and it's got different colors in
Mm.
it. So I don't know. I think it's working.
Well, I'll have to give it a try.
Yeah, I'll link it.
I'm not the laundry captain, as I've shared before, so I'm not really thinking about how to optimize our
All
laundry.
right. Well, when Norm listens, he might get excited about it. In our house, we're all the laundry captains of our own laundry. So it works. And then we don't even this is another example of something Grace and I don't talk about. We never talk about who's buying the laundry detergent or it
Mm,
just kind of shows up and either he's gotten it or I've gotten it or I don't know. It's a really interesting dynamic.
so Liz gave a big endorsement for the show on Hulu called The Act, and specifically for Patricia Arquette's performance in it. And then she just kind of went on to talk about Patricia Arquette and what a strong actor she is and how she's kind of underrated. And I could not agree more. I think she's just so solid in so many things and just kind of somehow flies under the radar. I mean, she's a celebrity and she's like working, so she's not really under the radar, but I don't know. I feel like people aren't talking about her that often. But Liz mentioned Boyhood, which was directed by Richard Linklater and also starred Ethan Hawke. That's one of the few movies that I've seen in the theater multiple times.
Oh,
Like, when it came out, I saw it 3 times in the
wow.
theater, which is just like I think once by myself and then other times with other people, and there was, like, a Q&A, and so I wanted to see the cast, and it's really good. It's filmed over 12 years,
Mm,
so it's, like, from kindergarten to 12th
mm,
grade each year in this family's life, and they actually are aging in real time. They shot it over that amount of time, just, like, 2 weeks every year,
wow.
and she's wonderful. All the performances are good, but she plays the mom, and that made me think of just Richard Linklater in general, like, he directed Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight, which are, like, at least Before Sunrise and Before Sunset. You gave me those DVDs one year for Christmas,
Oh, wow.
which you probably don't remember.
I'd never watched them. It's interesting that I gave them to you because I haven't seen these movies.
Maybe I requested them. I
Right.
remember you gave them to me.
Sounds like it was on your list.
I made a lot of people in college watch them.
This is a long time ago.
Yeah, they're great films. Like, I really like films that have 2 characters and are kind of feels like it's in real time.
Are they action? Is it like
No, no, no. They're
oh,
very talky, like,
romance?
I wouldn't even call it a romance movie. It doesn't even go that far. It's more just like 2
I
people
don't know.
talking.
I'm out. Nothing
There's
happens. Okay.
nothing happens. Like, it's really
Interesting.
nothing happens, but their conversations are just so deep. And then,
Hmm.
like, ugh, I just feel excited talking about them.
Okay, let's move on,
I'm
Malika.
gonna tone it down. But the other thing that Patricia Arquette is in that I loved is the show Severance on Apple
Oh,
Plus.
right.
It is so chilling, and it's not even my type of show genre. I don't really like sci-fi, I don't like a lot of dramatic tension, but somehow I started watching it and then I just could not stop, and Norm and I watched it together. Her performance was so good,
Hmm.
and it's the kinda show, like, there's supposed to be a season 2, and it hasn't come out yet, but, like, I still think about this show 3 years later, like, pretty often.
Hmm.
Like,
Wow.
because the circumstances of it and the premise are so strong, and it was a big cliffhanger. Anyway, kudos to Patricia Arquette.
All right. Go, Patricia. Let's take a break, and when we get back, we'll start to break down Happier.
Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready to go online cart.
Ooh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the Prep Dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Okay, we're back. Malika, let's talk about Happier.
There was a more happier episode called Call, Don't Text, The Joy of Finishing Photo Albums, and Do You Enjoy TV Previously Openings?
They talked about making photo albums, and of course, this is Gretchen, and this is something she has regularly discussed. And I guess she just recently completed a round of them. And I definitely want to do more of this. After completing my wedding book, there's like such a sense of accomplishment that comes with it.
Yeah.
And then you really are enjoying your photos
Hmm.
in a way that you don't when they're just on your phone. So I want to do this more. And I use the CVS app. which is probably at the bottom of the apps that you should be using to make these kinds of books. I'm sure there are, and Gretchen described, there are services and probably ways of doing it that's a little bit easier, but I don't know, CVS is on every corner. So there's something appealing about that.
I still haven't finished my photo book, Azizi, the one we
Oh,
started when you were here. I just totally forgot about it. So I don't have that feeling.
how far are you with it? Real talk. How, how far are you?
Not far.
What does that mean?
I mean, there's nothing there.
So by start it, you mean you thought about it in your head and heart.
I did because I started to like use, I think, I don't know which app I was using, but I began and then I realized like, oh, I need to think about actually what photos do I want in here. So I took a step back and did some brainstorming
Got
and
it.
that was it.
You're in the brainstorming stage. Okay.
I almost think I need a service that doesn't like you don't want to put photos in there that are not good or memorable, but like I need something where I'm not actually having to make a million decisions.
So you want like an AI bot to go in and pull the photos from your library.
Yes. And then just send me the book.
That would be fun. Someone invent that. Okay. Now I'm curious, like, so is that the thing that gets in the way is the decisions?
I think so.
Oh,
There's a lot of choices.
are
I guess it's just also the time. Like if I had maybe 3 hours uninterrupted time, I could do it. I know I can do it. It's
right.
just
Have you ever done it before though?
have I ever made a photo book?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Okay.
have. It's been a
All
long
right.
time, but I have.
Okay. You know, it's interesting when I do it, of course I'm using the photos that are on my phone, but they only go back as far as like 2015. So I'm not using anything that happened before that.
Hmm.
I
Where are
don't
those
I
photos?
don't know. Where are those photos? They're on other devices? That's the real work. I need to go through my old devices and figure out how can I like pictures of Ilea when she was a baby. Where are
Yeah.
those pictures? I don't know. That's the real work. But
Mhm.
maybe Malika, we need to set up another like power hour where we're
Mhm.
on Zoom and we're doing it together.
Mhm. I think it's gotta be a few hours.
Okay. Power 3 hours. It's more a retreat. This is sounding like a photo
Yes,
book
that's
retreat.
true.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Episode 506 is called Find a Delight for Each Day, Useful Travel Tip and Learning from Mistakes.
I love the idea of having a delight for each day. This sounds so delightful. So
Yes.
yummy. Do you have delights for certain days, Malika?
So, I was thinking about this. I do really lean into the podcasts. So, Monday, Best Laid Plans comes out. So, I always listen to that Monday morning.
Hmm.
Wednesday, Happier. Thursday, Happier in Hollywood. Wednesday has also kind of become my gym day,
Hmm.
workout day, because I had to be at work a bit later for something else. So that's something to look forward to. I'm not sure what the line is between a delight and a routine, you know?
Right. Yeah. Gym day.
Right? Is that,
I don't, that sounds like work, but I guess,
I don't know.
yeah.
Um, there was a time when I started doing what I called Novel Tuesday, where I would read a novel on Tuesdays.
Wow. Only Tuesdays.
Well, I came up with it honestly, it was because there was nothing that I was looking forward to on Tuesday. This was, I think, pre-Indigo, but we were new in this town, didn't know many people. It was still kind of pandemic times, not a lot to do. And
Ah,
so it was like,
yes.
I got to have something to look forward to on Tuesdays. What could I do? And it's like, I could go to a coffee shop and read a novel and then call it Novel Tuesdays.
I did that.
What?
There's no novel. I know. Okay, here's the thing. No reading was involved, but in the pandemic, Ilea and I did try new coffee Tuesdays.
Oh,
Every
funny.
Tuesday morning before Zoom school or Zoom work, we would go to a coffee shop, or I would go to a coffee shop and just pick up coffee to go. We tried different coffee shops, and that's how we found our favorite
Oh,
Superba
fun.
coffee. I know, it was fun. And it's interesting because I took pictures of the weekly schedule for a while during the pandemic because it was all about the schedule, right? You had to
Mhm.
have things different happening on each day. And so maybe I had some delights back then that could be helpful now, even though we're out of that period. But
Yeah. What are some of your delights?
the only thing I have is DoorDash Friday. And I
Hmm.
don't even call it that. That's just what happens. It's just on Fridays, it's like a unspoken rule that we eat out. And so we usually order in, and that's it. That's pretty thin. I need more things to look forward to. So I think I'm going to put this on my 25 for 25 list.
Hmm.
Gretchen talked about going in shock with feedback. And I could relate immediately. When I get feedback, I can go into shock. I feel like I'm a lot better at this because I've had a lot of practice and I can reframe things pretty quickly, but it could still happen. And
Mhm.
what's helped is in my job, there's a distinct time in the year. It's the end of the school year. So it's around like April, May, June. That is feedback season. And knowing that feedback season is coming is really helpful. It helps me reframe it. This is the season when I get to learn about myself and learn about others and think about what is useful. It helps that I have a coach also that I work with who will read the feedback first or with me and help me
Mm.
process. And so we have conversations about it and he helps me sort of think about reframe it. And that's really helpful. But the difference with my feedback, I think that I am getting versus a novel or a show, and maybe there can be an argument that it's the same or it's similar, but my feedback is about me. It is personal. It's like they're
Right.
saying Azizi does this or, choices or decision. Like it's about me. And so it hits a little different when you know it's about you. But even still, having those systems in place, knowing that it's a season, having someone to go over it with has really helped.
Well, it's nice that it's predictable,
Mostly, yes.
but that is quite a lot to go through each year.
Yeah. But I will say this is funny. I had just this week an occasion to talk with a few fifth and sixth graders that I'm working with about feedback. So, one of the students is helping us make a movie. It's a committee that I'm working with, and everyone decided to make a movie to share with other students about kindness. And she was so excited. She volunteered. She has some editing skills, which I'm blown away with. Like what kids know how to
Wow.
do these days. Anyway, she's like, I can edit it. I got it. I can do it. I'll shoot it. So she shot it. We had some little vignettes and then we were watching it together. And there were some things that were like, okay, here's some feedback. We want to change this or shift that. And she had a really hard time with it and felt like, she went into shock. Let's say that, as described by Gretchen. But it was really helpful that I had the happier in Hollywood language. And I said, you know what? These are notes. Every artist gets notes. If you're a writer, if you're a filmmaker, we all have to get notes. And that's a part of the creative process. So here's some notes that we have for you. And that's going to help this, make it even better. That helped everyone. Everyone
Wow.
listened to like, oh yeah, you get notes. That's what you get. Somehow the language of notes helped it go smoother. I don't know why. That was helpful, yeah.
That's funny.
What about you, Malika? How do you handle feedback?
I don't know, with feedback, I mean, I don't think I enjoy it necessarily, but I don't know if I'd go into shock or panic. I don't have enough experience of, like, big waves of it. I could say, in my more actor days and doing a lot of theater and grad school, we would always get notes after shows or after rehearsals, and it helps to write it down, just because it would usually come in the form of somebody talking to you, and so just writing it down instead of looking at them in the eye was, like, helpful as, like, a
Uh-huh.
little
Yeah,
buffer shield, and something that we were taught was, like, don't argue or question the notes, just write it down, and then you can process it
right.
and think about it and, like, follow up later.
Yeah.
But I think maybe that experience, having that as an actor, that gave me a lot of, tough skin, I guess, to not take it personally and just know that it is about the creative product and, even if it's like, well, I made this choice that the director didn't like, I can make another choice,
Yeah.
more about fulfilling the vision. But what Gretchen's conversation made me think of was, she talked about getting the notes, like an email from her editor or something with like all these things that she's going to have to do. And it
Right.
made me think of this one work project I have. I'm like the middle person between an organization and
Uh,
like communicating things to students who are wanting to do a particular internship. And it's very like lots of moving parts to this program. Everything is time sensitive, but when the information comes in is very unpredictable. So what
mm,
was happening is like I would get an email, a very dense email that would basically mean I needed to take like 10 actions. And it would be like, you
mm.
got to do this in the next 24 hours, or like there was some urgency around it. And I would just like see the email and like freeze.
Yeah.
So I kind of figured out, okay, some of this urgency is not actually needed. And
Right.
it's coming from the person sending it, but I don't
Yes.
actually have
Yes.
to pass that on. Or
Yes.
so I just started like, okay, I'm gonna put a little flag on it. I'm gonna put it in a folder and schedule a time to deal with
Yes.
it within the week.
Right.
Schedule a time when I'm gonna read it closely and do all of the actions. But it really helped me to not read the email as soon as I got it because it would become this big cloud over my head for the whole day.
Yeah.
I would immediately feel like I needed to drop everything else to handle all of this stuff. And it's just like, okay, this email, it is a lot, but it's also gonna come like every 3 to 5 days, you know?
It's such a good lesson to learn how not to react to someone else's
Yeah,
urgency. Sometimes you do, but a lot of times you don't. And it's about
right.
them and not necessarily about you or about the delivery. Oftentimes, there actually is some wiggle room or more space to process. And then the outcome is better when you take that and it's not reactive. So that's such a good lesson. Hearing you talk about the feedback that you receive makes me realize that part of what makes feedback season so hard for me is that it's all anonymous.
Ooh, yeah.
That's another layer.
It's another layer.
Isn't it? And I didn't put my finger on it until just hearing you talk about having to hear from directors and from people that you work with programs, but you know who's giving you the
Right.
feedback. But when it comes in the form of anonymous and you don't know, that makes your brain do more gymnastics,
Yeah.
than normal. So, anyway, just having that realization.
Yeah, that's a good point. The next more happier was called New Traditions, the Idea of House Trust and Creative Gift Suggestion.
They talked about this concept of house trust. And this was so fascinating to me. So, Gretchen talked about a friend of hers that is involved with the theater company and how their goal is for subscribers to just purchase all the theater, all of the shows without knowing what they are necessarily.
Mhm.
But they have this house trust that it's going to be good because they trust the organization that's putting it out. And I thought that was such an interesting term, house trust. Malika, do you have house trust with anything?
I mean, honestly, with Liz and Sarah and Gretchen, pretty much anything they recommend, I feel like, oh, I could probably try that or would be open to it.
Absolutely.
I think there's certain shows like the Sex and the City franchise.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
just like that, like, of course, I'm gonna watch it all. It doesn't matter
Yes.
if it's really good or not. I
Yeah.
just have house trust with those creators. Those are the things that come to mind. What do you have house trust in?
Right. I was thinking about like Trader Joe's.
Yeah,
Like pretty much anything they make, as long as it's flavors that I like, I'm gonna trust it.
yeah,
I just have so much trust in that grocery store chain. And then I was thinking about my radio station, my FM that I've talked about before, how I just tune in every day, like every weekday, and I don't
mhm,
need to know what's coming up or what the topics are, what the episode is. I trust what they put out. Those were kind of the only two things I could think of, but I'm going to keep thinking about it because I'm
yeah,
sure there's more I don't even think about because, I kind of trust them.
mhm.
Maybe like another one might be Kias. I
Oh,
drive Kias. I have such trust in them that I've bought like 3 Kias now.
wow, I didn't realize that.
I know. So I have house trust in that brand of cars.
Yeah. I mean, and certainly in brands, I think with Apple, I have house
Oh,
trust, as do
yes.
most people. Like, if you have
That's
one Apple
good.
product, you have all of them, or you just naturally gravitate towards all of them, you know?
Right, and when there's a new one, when it's time for a new phone, you don't look at all the brands again.
No.
You just go to that one. So that's interesting, yeah. They talked about new traditions, and this idea that new traditions emerge kind of in the atmosphere, and how it's fun to think about what are some of the new traditions that we didn't used to celebrate or acknowledge, but now we do. They talked about SantaCon, Malika, as though it was like a
I've
thing,
never heard of it.
right? I thought maybe you're on the East Coast, so you've seen Santas running around on this day of the year.
Not in Western Massachusetts.
This is a very specific to Manhattan, maybe tradition. Never heard of it. Interesting. They also talked about Galentine's Day, which I got so excited about because I'm a huge Parks and Recs fan also. And this made me think about Treat Yourself,
Yes.
right? Treat Yourself 2007. So this was Donna Meagle and Tom Haverford. These are characters on the show.
They're not real people.
They're not real people. The writers wrote for them that they clearly have a time of year every year where they just go to the mall and buy things for themselves. I tend to think about this as Black Friday, but maybe it would be fun to pick a specific day for it. I don't know. Maybe I can go back and see when the first episode aired.
Oh,
And that's
fun.
the day that is Treat Yourself Day. But it took off, and you hear that term all over the place now.
That's fun.
Yeah. There's also May the 4th, right? You've heard of
Yeah,
that one, right?
May the 4th be with you.
That's Star Wars Day.
But what
That's
do
a
you
big
do on the
deal.
day?
Well, you go to Disneyland and you bring your lightsaber,
Oh, okay.
and there's a big battle.
This is a
Monica.
Disney holiday. Okay.
I mean, it's not. Other people just sort of, I don't know, put up memes or wear their Star Wars wear. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I'm not a small Star Wars fan either, but I
Yeah.
see it happen. So I know it's a thing now. Can you think of any other new traditions?
No.
Okay.
Nothing comes to
Lucky
mind.
for you, I have a few more. So
Okay.
there's the day the pumpkin spice latte comes out.
Okay.
There's a lot of buzz around it. I don't know if it raises to the level of a holiday or a tradition, but certainly people get excited about it. And then there's Prime Day. Now, Prime Day is an Amazon shopping event that used to be once a year, and now it's
Well,
like
that's the thing.
quarterly. So they've sort of, I don't know where that's going now because it feels like it's all the time now. But
Yeah.
for a couple of years, it was like July 7th. I think it was like 7/7 or something like that. And they had a lot of great deals. But I have an idea for a new tradition that is the opposite of a baby moon. So, in addition to having a special vacation before your baby is born, I think you should have a fancy dinner after you take your last child to college.
Yes. I mean, that's what got Gretchen thinking about this question about traditions was her open door explorations of like, what do you do after you drop the person off at college? What's a new tradition there? So you're suggesting going to dinner
I'm suggesting fancy dinner that night.
that night. Okay.
On the day of the drop off. It's usually during the day, it's early, there's a lot of work involved. And then I think you maybe take out the crew who helped,
Mm-hmm.
minus the child, or you and your significant other, or and have a fancy dinner to celebrate.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can make your reservation now.
I can. I don't know what day it's going to be.
And you don't know where you're going to go.
I'd like to. Also, I don't know where I'm going to go. But as soon as I do, I will be looking for reservations.
That's funny.
Okay, let's take a break. And when we get back, we will do peaks and valleys.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
All right, we are back with peaks and valleys because in life there are always peaks and valleys. Azizi, you are up first with a peak.
My peak goes to an episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. I've talked about this podcast before. I'm a huge Conan fan, and he had a conversation recently with Billy Crystal that was so delightful. It was so lovely. I am a fan of Billy Crystal's, and Billy Crystal's movies
Mhm.
made up a big part of my childhood. These were the movies you'd watch over and over again. And I just love his humor and the kindness that kind of shines through. So, hearing about his life and his upbringing was fascinating. He was involved with the very first episode of SNL, and I didn't know
Oh.
that. And it was a really interesting story. I guess I don't want to give it away, but he was invited to sort of participate in the writing of it, and the outcome was really interesting. Spoiler alert, I guess it's not giving it away. He didn't make it, but that was a fascinating story. And then he talked about his relationship with Muhammad Ali, which was really sweet. And it turns out they were buddies.
Oh,
And
wow.
I had no idea he gave the eulogy at Muhammad Ali's funeral. Like
Wow.
they were so close. So hearing about their relationship and dynamic over the years was very heartwarming. So I highly recommend that episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
Very nice.
What's your valley, Malika?
So it's chillier here now. We're really in November, it seems.
Finally fall.
Finally fall. And I realize I just don't have any slippers around the house.
What?
I've been wearing these like sandals with socks, and I need to pull it together. And I think I need multiple pairs because somehow they don't last or they get
Ah,
flat or something. But I think we need a basket of slippers. Like Indigo's
there you go.
daycare, when I drop him off, it's very cozy there when it's cold. They have like one of those, I should know, a stove, burning fire stove thing.
Malika, you just got to the East Coast. You're not really from there. So it's okay that you don't know the term for wood burning stove. It's okay.
Inside their classroom that's on when it's cold. And then, the kids have to take off their shoes when they get in. And there's a basket of slippers they have that you can pick the slippers you want to wear that day. Like, we need a basket of slippers at home. Wouldn't that be so cozy?
That would be very cozy. That sounds like a good holiday thing to do. Like you put out the basket of slippers.
Yes.
How lovely.
The valley is that I don't have it yet, but I
Okay.
think it's a good idea that I can work on.
I agree.
Well, that brings us to the end. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. What are you going to try this week?
I'm going to try some of those gifts that Liz and Sarah were talking about. Start shopping. What about you, Malika?
Yeah, I think I need to get on it too. Even though we made a gift list and now they made one, I haven't actually bought any gifts yet. So I think it's time to get organized.
Time to get organized.
Thank you for listening to this episode. You can find our show notes in the episode description. If you like us, please rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com and tell us something you liked about Happier and Happier in Hollywood this week.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies and on the web at happierladies.com. All right, Malika, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Azizi.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Slippers. All right. Blah, 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 blah.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.